Hey there friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Cal and I are here today to talk to you about a book that we're just absolutely super hyped about. We're super stoked to talk to you about it because it was one of our most highly anticipated thriller books to come out this year. So I got it as soon as it came out. I read it right away, and I want to talk to you guys about it today because I'm really excited about it. So for me, the summertime is my favorite time of year to read thrillers. I don't know what it is about the summer, but just I want to sink myself into this story that is like full of action and full of mystery and full of, super amazing twists that I don't see coming. I just really love that about the summertime, reading thrillers. They're perfect to read on vacation. They're perfect to read on your downtime on the weekend or whatever. They're just really great. I mean, granted, I do read them all year long, but there's just something super special about reading a thriller in the summertime. So the author that I'm talking about today is one you may have heard of if you do read a lot of thrillers, or maybe you have anyway, even if you don't. And that is Riley Sager. And this is the new book I'm talking about today is his very newest book, The Only One Left. So that is just a really striking cover, don't you think? Like with a red background and the big blue font. Oh, I just absolutely love it. I feel like the last few of his books have been like this, very stylistic and just, oh, I love it so much. Anyway, if you haven't read anything by Riley Sager yet, he's written a handful of books. They're all super fantastic. The first one he wrote was Final Girls. I want to say that came out in 2017, but that might be very incorrect. But he's written a bunch of books, and they're all fantastic. I've read all of them. Final Girls was not where I started with his books. I actually don't remember which was the first one I read, but it was one of his more recent ones, and then I went back and read the rest of them. And now every year I just get super excited. Him and one other author that I will be talking about in a few weeks are my two favorite thriller authors, and I'm just really excited that they both actually had books coming out not only the same year, the same month, but they literally came out on the same day. But I'm going to keep you guessing on what that other book was. Maybe in a week or two we'll talk about that. But today we're talking about The Only One Left. So if you haven't read anything by him before, that's totally fine. Maybe you're just looking for a brand new author to read, a brand new thriller. You have to read this book. It is so good. So one thing that's really great about his books is that they're all very different from each other. The stories are so unique, so you could read them in any kind of order. They're not like part of a series or anything. So if you haven't read anything by him, you can pick this one up and not have any trouble. The thing that's really cool about this one is it's like a gothic mystery, which is not really something that I've seen him do before. It takes place with this dilapidated, crumbling old mansion that's literally falling into the sea. You can tell like from the cover that it's situated by a cliff in Maine, and it is just falling into the sea basically as the years go by. And sort of like how in the book Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, the House of Manderley was its like own character. Hope's End, which is the name of the house in this book, sort of is like its own character too. It has its own personality. It has its own like sense of ambiance that just makes you feel like it is its own separate character. So what is this book about? Well, it has two separate timelines. So you have one that takes place, I want to say present day, but it's not present day because it's the 80s. And I'm totally dating myself because I think of the 80s as not that long ago, but it's definitely considered to be historical at this point. So the new timeline, so to speak, is set in the 80s, and it is dealing with this young woman named Kit, who is she's a caregiver. So she's not technically a nurse, but she can do some things like she can help patients read to them and get them into bed at night and get them clean and stuff like that. She's been tasked with taking care of this very old woman named Lenora Hope. So Lenora is basically had a series of strokes. She can't even move half her body. She has not left the house of Hope's End in many years. So the reason for that is because back in the, I believe it was the 20s or 30s, she was there one night when her whole family was murdered. So her mother, her father, and her sister were all killed that night, and she was the only one that that survived. So of course everybody thinks she killed her whole family. There's even this like really gruesome little poem that people say about her. At 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope, stabbed her father with a knife, took her mother's happy life. It wasn't me, Lenora said, but she's the only one not dead. Whew, right? Gives you chills. So the 1920 storyline is, which takes place in the 20s, the late 20s, is Lenora's point of view of everything leading up to the incident where the murders took place. Culminating with obviously the night that everything happened. So now it goes back and forth, so dual timelines, right? So you're in the past with Lenora, and then you're also in the present with Kit, as she is now her caregiver. But what is really interesting about that is Kit has her own sort of backstory that is very mysterious as well, that I don't really want to go into too many details, because that is one of the really interesting plot points of this book. One of the twists is one that is pretty much revealed very early on, which is really cool, and it was one that I guessed. It's like the only twist I've ever guessed, and it's very early on in the book, so it's not one of the main twists, but I don't want to talk too much about it other than she has a mysterious past. So Lenora tells Kit, it communicates to Kit that she wants her story to finally be told. She's ready to talk about what happened that night. She claims she didn't do it. She claims she had nothing to do with her family's murders, but she wants to confide in Kit what happens. So it is like both of these timelines that are like converging on each other, where we're finding out what happened in the past and Kit is finding out in the future what is going on. And one of the things that is so cool about this book is that there are multiple twists that read like towards the end that just keep on coming and kept knocking me out of my seat. Like, took my breath away. First big twist, I was like, whoa, okay, so that's where the story was going. And then not too much longer, boom, another one. And then another one and another one. And there's just so many twists in this book, and they're all so perfectly executed and interesting and wonderful. Didn't see any of them coming except that first one, like I said, that takes place rather early on in the book. And that one is sort of like a giveaway, kind of. I think if I figured it out, probably everyone will have guessed it, because I'm really notoriously bad at being able to guess twists and endings. I have no talent for it all. I'm almost always wrong. But that one little one in the beginning, I sort of guessed. So I was pretty proud of myself. But all the rest of them, I just did not expect at all. Like I said, the hits kept coming with this. It was just so good, so beautifully written, like everything that Riley Sager does. I'm such a big fan of his writing. So like I said, if you are looking for a really fun, exciting mystery thriller this summer, don't miss Riley Sager's new book. If you are already a fan of his, this one will not disappoint. I say this every year he comes out with a new book, but this one is definitely my favorite one so far. Last summer's book, I was like, yes, this is the best one. I love this one the best so far. But this year, definitely now, I'm changing my mind and saying it's this one, because this one is absolutely phenomenal. So don't miss this. It is so good. And I am desperate to know if you guess any of these twists with the ending. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. So that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that you are just as excited about this book as I am, as I have been to talk about it, rather. If so, please feel free to come and check it out from Farmington Community Library. And if so, also please give this video a like. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.